Yo, YouTube, say hi to Twitch. Twitch, say hi to YouTube. We back. It's round four. It's round four. This is round four of the Maia Chess Open. And in this Maia Chess Open here, so I had 2 dubs. Round 3, I lost to the Grandmaster. Round 4, I'm playing. He was over 2,300 before. He just never got the FM title, but he's basically 2,300 plus. Stronger player. He's very strong. He's very strong. I'm underrated. And I play him in round 4. This one is titled The Craziest Game of the Year. The craziest game of the year. Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm playing black. So we already seen that I had in round 2 that crushing win against the 2350, very strong WIM in the Dragon, where I like sacked both the exchanges. If you missed that, go back and watch that video. It's round 2. So I'm 2 out of 3 right now because I lose round 3 to the GM in that London system. Wanted to mix it up, right? All right, fast forward. Here we go. D4, knight f6. Now, anyone knows me. After c4, what are we playing here, right? G6, knight f3, sorry. After f3, he goes f3, which is more of the samest variation of King's Indian or Grunfeld or anything, sameish. Now, what do we play here with black, chat? Are you going d6, c5, or d5? Or d5. Let's talk a little bit about this. We're going to keep this about 20 minutes today, 15, 20 minutes, so we're not here too long. We have enough time to talk about, obviously, the game, look at it, and some subtleties in there, and learn ourselves. So, what do we have, chat? Black to move. Where do you go in this position? What do you do? d6, d5, or c5, or bishop g7. These are all moves. d5, surely d5. d6 from Ryan there. So we have a d5 and a d6. Any other options, chat? Any other options? d5 or d6? You also have bishop g7, c5. That's about it in this position. So anyone that knows me, by the way, anyone that knows me, I'm Benikazi says h5, c6, and d6. Yeah. So anyone that knows me knows I love a King's Indian. Love a good King's Indian, KID for life, right? Bishop g7, d6. But here's I remember being in Kazakhstan earlier this year, and I was this is like a small flex, small flex, very small, but I was having like breakfast and lunch with a lot of greats, like to my right at one point. I remember it was Kramnik. Then it was a tournament there, Saudi Zoldez, right around the time of the World Championship. So Kramnik to my right at breakfast, maybe it was lunch, whatever. Kramnik, Aronian next to him. Next to Aronian was Gelfand. Next to Gelfand was Haik Martirosian. Next to him was Vincent Keimer. Next to Keimer was what's the girl? The homie, Yavanka Hauska. She was my co-commentator. And then next to her was Arjun, Eric Icy, and then me, right? So we sitting here talking. So I'm sitting here talking, and I'm talking to Aronian about like openings, like we just chat and vibing. And then I'm like, yo, what you think about these, right? He says, and I never forgot this, he was like, you should use openings in pairs. I was like, oh, that's fire. And I kind of knew this, but like hearing it from him was like even better. So I love a King's Indian, but he was like, yeah, the problem is with King's Indian, depending on who you're playing, lots of times there's a lot of space you give up, and you're playing players that know what to do with that space. So it's harder to play. So you need to pair it with the opening, like the Grunfeld. So I was already picking up the Grunfeld, which I picked up a lot already. I know a lot about it. So here I chose the Grunfeld, which I've scored pretty well, OTB online everywhere, even with King's Indian. So I like to bring it out. Bobby Fischer did the same, loving the King's Indian. But he would also bring out, if you look at the famous game, Robert Byrne versus Bobby Fischer, whatever the man name. I think it's Robert Byrne, but Byrne Fisher. Boy, that's one of the classic Grunfeld games ever. He was like 15, sacked his queen, did all this crazy stuff. Bro, relax, right? Breathe. You know what I mean? Like we put in the chat, command breathe. That man went crazy. So I went d5. Grunfeld. And I knew this threw him off because I'm sure he was prepping King's Indian. So I went d5. And I think I'm a big fan of these positions because I love sharp chess. So this is all theory. So takes, right? e4, knight b6, knight c3, bishop g7. I hit d4, he goes bishop e3, attack or defending the pawn. I go castles, he goes queen to d2. Queen d2, I go e5 to strike the center very early. d5, literally all theory, guys. c6 hits the pawn. h4. And now I have a choice to play taking now or h5. I take, and then nowadays I'm probably going to play more knight d7. I like to keep this in the arsenal, but the files that I had here are h5. Which is funny, you know, it says inaccuracy, but if I go back and let me turn the engine on, let me see. Yeah, it's like move number 2 on the engine. And then if you let it think, wow, now h5 is move number 1, but it's an inaccuracy. So 1 time for the engine. Bruh. 1 time for the engine. But okay, h5 is inaccurate, but knight a7 is actually what, looking at some newer files, I found that this is just a little bit better because it's faster. But h5 is a move. And I played the h5 from what I know from old files. So h5, he castles queenside. Literally all I'm going to do here, guys, is bishop d7, knight a6, rook c8, in some move order. That's it, and I'm going for mate. There's some sick lines here. There's some sick stuff, right? So, especially after, like, I had this in a game online. After bishop e2, I went bishop, well, I went, okay, knight a6 was the game. And I've seen this before, bishop e2, bishop d7. g4, rook c8 anyway, pawn takes, right? And I think I go knight b4, king b1, knight c4, bishop takes, bishop f5 check first, bro. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Knight e4 and then rook takes c4. And this is a nasty attack that's going on over here with queen a5 coming too as well. I remember these lines. I remember this. So I was going for something like this. But what he chose in the game after knight a6 was g4 immediately. Question mark, but it also is like, bro, okay, this is kind of serious. So if you think about this, right, you know, when it comes to opposite side castles, whoever gets to the king first is going to win. So what do I do now? He plays g4 immediately, which is different from the bishop e2 line. But what do we do anyway, chat? What do we do anyway? See, money, I see you with the breathe command. Updating it. Breathe, chat. Breathe, chat. Is black to move? He played g4. What are you supposed to do? Give me a plan. Give me a few moves for black. Give me a few moves for black right now. Just give me a few. What do we do? See, knight b5. See, bishop d7. Take the pawn. Take the pawn, says Tabi. f5. f5. Okay. f5. So castle on opposite sides. Whoever gets to that king first is going to win. So this is pretty serious. Bishop d7 and knight b4. e4 is my idea from Mike Saylor. Okay, e4. Nice, Mike. In fact, in the newer files, e4 is actually the move that I'm going to be playing at certain points. That's before the pawn gets to g4, though. Here's the move, chat. What I do, he says, I don't know, I'm 200 rating. Well, you're going to learn today, Bruno. You're going to learn. Just sit back and relax. Here, okay, remember, one of the themes is when you castle on opposite sides, whoever gets to the king first is going to win. So I need to get to his king before he gets to mine. g4 is opening up everything. So I need to move now. Best move on the engine was bishop d7. I'm ready. He takes on h5. Oh, snap, big fella. It's getting serious, chat. What do you do now? It's getting very serious, chat. Breathe. Breathe. Command breathe in the chat. Breathe. Jedi, breathe. Where do you go next? Black to move. What do you do now? Rags 412. Thanks for the follow. Breathe, Jedi. Rook c8 from Ryan. What do you do, chat? What do you do right now? Black to move. He about to open you up. Follow with the plan. In it, says Ryan. Brennan says, follow the plan. Knight c4. Bishop a4. Knight c4. Knight c4. If you said knight c4, raise your hand. Clap it up, baby. You are 100% garbage. After bishop takes c4, and he takes that boy. And he takes that boy. Bruh. Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. So let's run that boy back one time. Let's run that boy back. And let's find the best move, which is 100% rook to c8. And we great! I don't care about none of that. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about none of that, bro. So if he takes on g6, what do you do, chat? What do you do? And this is all in the head. I was calculating all of this. COE. It's on body. COE on body. What do I do next? I already knew that this was something that I wanted to happen. If he takes, what is my next move, chat? Somebody find it for me. Somebody find it. He said, B takes A6. B takes A6 right now. So I'm supposed to take this. Okay. I'm supposed to open up another file. Interesting. Okay, got it, got it. Bishop F5 from Mike. Knight A4. Right. Knight A4. No. Where bishop takes B takes A6 play. No. This is a game. We're talking about right now. Right. What happens if he takes here, right? Yes, memorizing the game is cool, but you guys also memorize what happens if they do these type of things. What didn't happen, in fact, in the game. Because this, you have to consider this. Yeah, of course, he can take bishop takes A6, which is game move. But what if he takes here, which is very logical? Just open up, try to push through, and play bishop H6. Like, what happens? What do you do? What do you do, chats? What do you do? Hey, everyone, let's get it. Knight before is crushing. Knight before is the move. Knight before is very crushing, and practically. Engine seems to get out of it all the time. But after G takes F7, my idea here is to first take on F7 with the rook, right? With the idea of now knight takes A2 still being a thing. This is something you see in the King's Indian. I can't remember which lines. Sort of same-ish. I think it is same-ish. But there are some lines of King's Indian, also modern, that have this. I have no pawns in front of my king.
He needs some milk.
Bruh.
Like, literally, I castled. And then if you, like, come look at the game, you're like, bro, where did all his pawns go? Like, where did your pawns go? You know what I mean? Like, where are they? How did your key, like, what is going on, right? So, but knight before knight takes A2 is the idea here. With obviously the rook coming on C8 and knight A4 and queen A5. Huge threats. So king B1 was what I was considering. But after king B1, I can take on D5, or I can go knight C4 with the same idea of if bishop takes C4. It says miss win. I think I have knight D5 there, but this is what I was calculating. Bishop check, right? King A1 is just going to be decisive. So, and even king C1 is mate in one almost. Or not mate in one. Rook takes C4 is close. Then knight A2 being a thing. Right, so I'm just on him. So he has to block with the knight. Rook takes C4. From a practical standpoint, this is so hard to defend. This is so hard to defend, bro. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is like all kind of stuff is coming in there. So he didn't want to allow any of this. So what he does in the game is take on A6, getting rid of that knight. Then I take, and then he plays bishop G5. And here is where, chat. Here is where I missed the entire win, chat. I missed a win. And it's difficult here. It's difficult because I did not play. I did not play the move. Okay, wait. No, I did. No, wait. Okay, so I played move number 2. But here is where it's ridiculous, chat. It's ridiculous. It's quite annoying here, to be honest. It's quite annoying. Like, I missed this. This is not something I ever considered at all. Like, so what do we do here, chat? Ryan, we do want to actually give them a chance here instead of, like, you know, why would we ask the chat if you're just going to say exactly what the answer is every time? Like, what would that do? Like,
Bruh.
how would that even help the chat? The meat of the game, correct. This is where it was really bad. This is where it was really bad for me. F6 is what I played in the game. And it's so like, it's the second move. It's such a hard move. The problem is after rook takes C3, is the move. This is what I was supposed to play. This is crazy. This is so sick. I know what to do now, but before, this was not even considered. This is the best move. Rook takes c3, believe it or not. That's so crazy to me. What happens after either takes, right? Exactly. Block. What happens after? The engine says rook take. When I saw this, f6, and when I play f6 in the game, right, it says it's a great move. Right? It says it's a great move. And then I had a win somewhere in here, and I'll show you. But rook takes c3 was the move. Like, this was so sick to me. This was crazy. And the reason is the follow-up. After pawn takes c3, what do we do? What is the follow-up after pawn takes c3? This is ridiculous, bro. Like, that's hard. I know now, but man, chess is a difficult game. Chess is a difficult game. What are we supposed to do now? Knight c4. C money. This with knight c4, obvious move. Very nice. Okay, I like that. You're going with the knight c4s. Queen c7, I'll take it. Queen b8. It's coming outside this. Queen c8. Queen c7, queen b8. Has to be. Yeah, these are the moves. These are the moves. You also have f6 again. Queen c7 is for queen c5. Because if he goes d6, I go queen c5 so we can check in some cases. And also play knight c4 at the right moment. This is not, and this is some of the hardest things to do, is to actually play a move after you sacrifice material where it's not that clear. It's not that clear. I'm done an exchange. King side wide open, and I'm supposed to play queen c7. So as a human, this is extremely hard to play. 100%. 100%. Extremely hard to play. Very sharp. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Right? So, but that's rook takes, pawn takes. What about queen takes? If queen takes, I have to find queen to b8 and then rook c8. But yeah, this is cool. But I was like, yo, what if he just move his king out the way? Like king b1, I was not clear after rook c8. And then he goes somewhere like queen d2 maybe, queen d2. Okay, knight c4, right? And then maybe I move the queen somewhere else again. Queen c3, and I don't know where to go. Like I have nothing yet. Maybe I could push e4. I could try it. E4, anything? Oh, it's bishop f6. Like, this is like, and you have to see this in your head before doing all of this, chat. That's the hard part about this. Bruh. You have to see all of this in your head, bro. Or at least a lot of it to understand what's going on. So, of course, I'm not taking on c3, bro. Of course, I did not take on c3. What I did is I played f6, which is a great move. He played h6. I go bishop h8. h7 check. Obviously, king takes. And I saw king takes being a move. I was like, I probably can take this, but I didn't want to give him counterplay with bishop h6 and then moving in and playing some h5 stuff and trying to get the... Like, I mean, I just didn't want to get... Actually, in fact, believe it or not, after king takes, I actually saw this as a move, knight h3. I just didn't want to deal with this type of calculation stuff. Pawn takes and, like, maybe taking with the pawn or the knight. Like, I don't have to take this. So I play king f7. King f7. They said to take it was best, but, like, I don't feel like taking it. He went bishop h6 anyway. And here, guys, here's another way of how hard this was. I went knight c4. He went queen c2. And then here, I thought for a long time. So let me see actually the time. Yeah, hour and 10 minutes right now. Thought for a long time here. I might have thought like 30, man. It felt like 30 minutes, but I thought like a long time here. Because I knew I had something, but I had to figure it out now, and I just didn't know what it was. I just didn't know what it was. So as black to move, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, clock is correct. All it takes is one mismove. Exactly, Mike Saylor, correct. Even if you see rook takes c3 in the game, all it takes is one mismove and you're done the exchange. Bishop f5 is nice. Okay, bishop f5, bishop f5. And the reason why I didn't go with bishop f5, guys, is because of this queen b3 move, where like now I have to find a sequence of moves. And in fact, what do you think the top 3 moves are? Give me the top 3 moves, chat. After queen b3. I'm trying to get rook b8 in, and it's like over, but like it's hard to because the knight's hanging. The knight is straight up hanging. So what's the top 3 moves here right now? Top 3 moves, and I'm gonna tell you how hard this is. I knew something was off because I was like, bishop f5 feels right, but like, what is this? What's the top 3? We got knight d6, queen b6, knight a5, bishop g7 maybe. Okay. Knight a5, queen b6, knight d6. Yeah. One of them is knight e3.
Garbage. Bruh.
He's just about to take that, boy. He gonna stare at you real hard. He gonna stare at you real hard. That's gonna be a real hard stare. That's gonna be awkward. That's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be very awkward. Okay, so top 3 moves are number 1, bishop g7. Number 2, knight a5. Number 3, rook e8. Rook e8. And this tells you how hard the position is, right? Because all I need to do is get this rook to b8 and it's like over. But he has some weird stuff with even like, if I went queen c7, I was thinking about even sacking, like queen c7. But then, you know, there's a problem with d6. d6 is crazy. I go queen maybe c6. And then he can take on f8. And I have to like deal with this weird bishop takes. I can't go rook b8. I can't. I lose a rook here. Like it's something strange. And I can't take because of this queen move. So bishop f5 was very annoying to me because of these weird nuances that he had. This was a crazy game, bro. Bishop. So I went rook e8. But what's funny is, it is one of the moves on the engine. But I went rook e8 to get out the way. Bishop g7 is the best. Exactly. Yeah, just eliminating the piece. Bishop g7. I should have just went here. But I thought it was too slow for some reason. I just thought it was too slow. Like I didn't like bishop d2. Which is kind of annoying to me. And then the engine says, let me see what the engine says. Okay, best move. Oh yeah, this is ridiculous. So it's supposed to be bishop f5 after queen b3, knight a5, best move, queen a4, and then queen b6. That's not, I was not considering that at all. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. He's like, yo, I knew it. Yeah, the problem is after bishop g7, bishop d2, like, yo, I knew it was bishop g7, but then what's the follow-up, right? Bishop f5, you're supposed to do this. Then after queen a4, you're supposed to go here. Only move that gives you a real advantage, which is queen b6. So you can play rook c4, which is ridiculous, right? Now it says it's a mistake, but that's the first move on the engine. That's crazy. Second move is queen takes d5, and third is rook c4 immediately. Actually, like rook c4 immediately. Queen a3. Now queen b6. Oh, shoot. This is nasty. This is still like unclear as a human. Like I am not there yet, but the pressure definitely is there. Apparently, man, chess is hard. That's crazy. That is ridiculous. But okay, so didn't do that. I went knight c4 and I went rook e8 because I just said, okay, look, I'm not gonna give him the rook, and I do have rook b8, and then I can also move the queen and not worry about some stuff that he has. He goes knight e2. I thought this was a very good move because he developed a piece and he had problems here. And this one I realized, dang, like I should have, there had to be something else, but I didn't know what that was, which was bishop g7. That was the move. But, you know, in more tempo, I learned something from that. So I go queen a5 just to put the queen over here. I spent a lot of time though. I spent like 15 minutes on this move. Like queen a5 just to get another piece out. What I was supposed to go was queen b6, whatever. Queen a5. He goes h5. Already saw this. Bishop f5. Nice move. He takes on g6. If I take with the king, you might as well hit the button while you do it. Meaning hit the clock. Sign the score sheet. You are done for the day. So you have to take with the bishop here. And then queen to b3. Queen b3, right? I go queen c5. Queen b6 was again best. But I'm not trying to trade after all of this. You got to be kidding me. Queen c5. My idea here is to hold the knight so I can play rook b8. He goes d6. I already saw this. I go rook b8. He goes queen a4 with a threat of mate in like 2 moves. So you can't even take this. You better watch yourself. But I already saw this. My idea was rook e to d8. Great move. Look at this. Like great moves everywhere, right? Rook e to d. It goes b3. I thought that was an excellent move. I'm not even gonna lie. And then here, I'm supposed to I played rook b4, which was cool with the idea of after takes. Bro, this game is crazy. It takes, right? And I saw the only move here, chat. I already saw this. And I played something different. Chat. It's black to move here. And this is why this is the craziest game of the year, because of what's about to happen right now. This got very wicked. And I saw the only move, which is like, okay, I do this, 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 this. I'm like, but like, ugh, kind of gross. Like, I don't want to play this. You know it's coming, Ox? Yeah, Dylan? Yeah, Ryan watched it too. Make sure if you saw it and I'll say nothing. But what is the best? What do you think? Knight takes d6 seems deflating, okay. Deflating. What am I supposed to do right now? It's black to move, bro. And I saw this in analysis, but I'm like, really? This the only thing left? And what didn't I like about this? Takes blah 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 bang bang bang. Yeah, there was like a I didn't like that. So I need to see what that is real quick while we're here. Rook a4. Wow. Rook a4. And when he takes that boy with his queen or plays queen b7 check, my guy, let me just push the moment of silence.
He needs some milk. Bruh.
That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Moment of silence. Moment of silence in the chat. Moment of silence. It's cute though. Looks nice. Rook a4. But all right, chat. So this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to play rook takes d6. Right? Rook takes d6. And I saw this. Rook takes, knight takes. I saw rook to d1. I actually saw king b2 as well. And this what I really didn't like. I didn't like this king b2 move. Let me see what the engine says. I'm supposed to play queen b6. Bro, come on.
Bruh.
Like, after all of this, I'm supposed to trade queens. And that's the hard part in chess sometimes. Is like, all that work, and you're supposed to trade queens now? Like, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do this. And I was annoyed by this king b2 move. But then I kept looking. And I thought about my uncle Nesmedinov. And you know, grandfather Tal. Sometimes thinking about them is great. And sometimes this is bad. And I played move number 3 on the engine, which is bishop to g7. I played bishop g7, question mark. Now tell me what happens if he takes on g7. What happens if he takes on g7? This is my whole idea, chat. If bishop g7 happens, I'm also threatening to take this bishop so that I can play what? That's it, queen e3. There it is. If takes, queen check. If you do anything that is not a check, I'm going to take and play queen e3 checkmate. So I thought I found a brilliancy, bro. I'm like, bishop g7, this gotta be brilliant.
Bruh.
This gotta be everything, like everything's check. And then he plays this right here, chat. Y'all ready? And I saw this. I was ready for this. But I thought I had something extra, but this is what I calculate. Man, it's just crazy. This is like the craziest game of the year. He played this. Sorry, he played B takes c4, right? And I realized, oh my goodness, I might be in some trouble here. I played the right move, and believe it or not, wow. As I'm looking at the engine here now, I played everything correctly, and it was like equal, believe it or not. So I went rook here, trying to mate, because he got rid of the knight. And believe it or not, if I do this now, bishop takes h6 does not work. He took on c4. If I takes, I have nothing. After check, rook here. And the reason why I can't take on h6 is because I get mated. Or I get mated.
Bruh.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How unlucky is that in a way? I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I get mated, I lose all of the material. King got to run to c4. There's nothing. This is not here. This is defended. All checks are done with rook d1. You're like, bro, what is this? All right, so we go back. So this is why I moved the rook over to d8. And then he makes it a knight. Bro, this is OTB. And I saw this. Believe it or not, what's nice What's nice about all this, chat, is that I saw this. I felt good because I saw this. Like, calculation is real. Like, I actually saw this. This was the move. The only move that's a draw, not even a draw, but like that I'm okay, is if I take the knight. I have to take it. But I was like, yo, I cannot take this knight. After all of this, I just can't take the knight. I can't. So I played king to G8, bro. Bro, this is the craziest game of the freaking year. There are 3 knights on the board. There's 3 knights on the board. He takes, and there are 3 knights, bro. There are 3 knights.
Bruh.
Bro, come on. Come on. Come on, bro. Imagine you walk by a board in a tournament and you see 3 knights on the board. You see 3. You're like, oh, they cheating over here. Oh, they cheating. That's crazy. They cheating over here. This in the open section. They cheating. But the reason why I did this is because I wanted this. Bishop takes h6. Rook takes. Queen e3. All calculated. All calculated. Right? Rook d2. I go rook b2. And I offer a draw here. Because I see that what's wrong, obviously. And you know what's crazy? Is like he only has like 1 sequence. He only has like 1 sequence, bro. Now the engine says he actually could have played some crazy line with knight e7 and rook takes f6, which is wicked. This is already crazy, 3 knights on the board. But he went with the most human one, which I saw, which is rook check. Because if you try to defend, you can't even defend this. Look at this. This is mate. So if you go knight e4, I'm actually winning, believe it or not. Rook b1 and mate on b2. Unbelievable. This is like a crazy, the wickedest game of the year for me. So, you know, I saw this. So I saw this. Rook check, which he played, king g7. And then he took and he sacrifices the queen. And I knew that this is the only way out as a human, because the engine has some crazy way of doing it. Yeah, 3 knights, exactly, roughly limit. That just tells me you just got here. Of course, 100%, because he actually had to under promote to a knight here. I had to take what rook takes, but you know, king g8 was what I chose because I went for this line. And I stopped calculating like right around here because it's like such a long game. Like I had to calculate from here, guys. I was all the way back here. When I played bishop g7, that is what I calculated. But how far is that? How far that is? How far this is out? You know what I mean? With all the other opportunities you have to calculate as well. So I go king g7. He takes, he sacrifices the queen. And I realize I'm just losing. That's it. He takes on b2 and that's it. He has enough pieces. I have to trade. Right, he got 3 knights. I got to take one of these boys. And then he just has 2 knights and a rook versus the queen. This is just game over. It's just losing. It's just losing. And then the rest, and like, I just, you know, this is over. Well, actually, it stopped right here. Right here. This is where I resigned. Because, like, I just have nothing. Like, this is crazy. Like, what a game this was. And the win was, like, way back here. This was, like, the craziest game of the year for me. Few things that I've learned from this game is h5 is the older line. And this is why it's not as good. In fact, I see a lot of newer material with knight here, knight here. No matter what you do, and then you take, you play bishop b7, rook c8. Safer, in a way. Safer. Much easier to play. That's what I like now. But I went with the h5 route. Knight e6. I mean, this was a wicked game. Absolutely wicked. I mean, some of the stuff I had to find. For instance, this rook c3 move instead of f6. Bro, that's crazy. I was not even, I mean, I'm not considering this. You know, that was crazy. And then it says, oh yeah, b takes, and then you play queen b8. This is one of the best moves they like. So you can go knight c4, then rook c8. And like, bro, what the heck? You know? Queen c7, they said that's even a mistake, even though they considered it. Queen c7 was their best move, with the idea of queen c5 if d6, try to go knight c4 and check, but I'm still down in exchange. And if you're wrong, you lose, right? Like, that's crazy. Didn't see that. But that is pretty crazy. So this was the craziest game of the year for me. This was round 4 of Chess Open Chat. So that's pretty fire. So y'all, hey, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next video.